some other locals to get some of the deadfall in the river cleared out, because there's just a lot of branches that are going across that cause quite a bit of headache. Example of some various trees in the river. Shortly after 4th of July weekend, we went and looked at this camper. It's a 97 Sunnybrook, 26 FK, I think. And so it is one of the first aluminum superstructures, so it's very lightweight for its size. It's actually only about 4,400 pounds. Got a nice luggage rack on top, along with the air conditioner. Full awning, goes all the way just about to like right about here above the window. Well, actually, I guess you can see it's right here, so on the outside of the window. 2 doors. They call this the sunny spot. This is a patented access door that gives you space. This is the main bedroom, so you're actually seeing, or from the exterior, you can put stuff under the bed without having to, like unlock it and get inside. So our plan is to build a carport out here and be able to leave it outdoors year round for easier usage. We got it in the pole barn this winter, and it was much more of a pain in the butt to do that, so we're going to try not to do that again. So here's a couple of shots of the interior. Up front kitchen, dinette, 2-door refrigerator, fold down click-clack couch, the TV and VCR combos that were being stolen in the first Fast and Furious. So that was the hot items at the time when that movie came out, which is probably late 90s, so very fitting with this camper. It's got a nice little toilet, sink, shower with little tub, and skylight with semi-functional fan. At this point, full-size bed, but it is wide enough to be able to fit a queen if we want. It just means less space walking around. Nice full closets on each side. We really liked, after looking at a lot of campers, usually a lot of them have one full-size closet on one side, and so that person doesn't get a nightstand. So we really liked having the 2 nightstands for each person, or one per person. Bedroom has a door, so that's actually been kind of nice when there is somebody using the bathroom that is in between the bedroom and the kitchen. You can exit out and go around and not have to try to pass right by somebody that's using the toilet. So shot back towards the shower. Has a built-in stereo with the auxiliary in here. It's actually been really great. The sound inside is pretty well, but unfortunately doesn't have any exterior speakers. We'll see if we can do something about that if we need to. So here's where this location was. When the pop-up was set up outside, we had it over here on this side, but it was a little close to the trees, and we just decided that keeping things away from trees for possible limbs falling would be a safer bet, especially for the pop-up with its canvas bunk ends. Backside with the sewer line and water line connected. It came with 2 30-pound propane tanks, a little window guard to protect while you're towing. See if this will work. Using the camera mode, this was kind of one of the early winning aspects of the new camper here. Was nice wide awning we can both fit underneath. We bought a couple of the what are they called? Anti-gravity chairs, and so this is our front yard view, and we've been really excited about that. Another one of those, I mean, it was the same morning actually, maybe the next day, of the sunlight coming through early before all the moisture's burned off in the forest. Quite amazing. Late summer here, so everything's getting real thick and dense. This is, I think somewhere near down the river, by the river. Late summer, high saturation. But, yeah, it's just really amazing watching the whole area just almost become like jungle-like. Local foliage. Looking back up our path, this is that kind of wet area. You can kind of see to make it passable, we've laid down a bunch of 3-4 foot logs that were actually cut out by the previous homeowner, or sellers, so we were able to kind of walk along those, and over time they'll settle into the ground a little more and become a little more stable. We made some picnic tables. We actually had the lumber to do this for a while. We combined a couple of projects of the wood decking, I think, the well house, and we bought enough wood to make 3 picnic tables, and had it all delivered, from Home Depot for like $60 or something like that. So we try to kind of get as many things shipped all at once as we can, but I feel like I'm mixing up a couple of those. But either way, these we found some plans online and built these, and they're just amazing. They're super strong. Unfortunately, they're super heavy, but they're 8 feet long, so there's plenty of space for people to come hang out at. Got a motion light or whatever for our little well house, so we can, as we're getting close, it'll turn on. And mother-in-law gave us some tacky lights, which at first we were like, those are gaudy and awful, but given the age of the camper, we're kind of embracing the retro cheesy look at times, so it's been fun. Brother gave me one of these Yeti can holders that he was able to get through their work employee appreciation thing. They work really well. So for people that might have seen the Widowmaker in one of the videos, this is it having now fallen over the winter, and is just a great chill spot down here by the river, and that's kind of one of our primary water hangout locations. A couple pictures of our pop-up that we had some friends and come up for Labor Day, so we popped it so they would have a easy place to be able to come and set up and just enjoy their time rather than have to set up their own campsite. Here's your side. This is where our cassette toilet is, and there's like a little here's the shower curtain that can pull around, and you can hang the shower handle up if you want to shower inside. Shot of the 2 campers as we were hanging out. Here's everyone down by the river with the inner tubes. We were able to patch the one that got the hole in it, got them all inflated, and the kids had just a really amazing time. And honestly, one of the big reasons why we wanted a property like this, and a property like this where we have about 500 feet or so of river frontage. So as the kids were able to run down to upstream, put their inner tubes in, float down, pull themselves out on this actual tree stand ladder that we found on our property, and we're able to kind of give them easier access out, and they had a blast, and we had a lot of fun just kind of being able to hang out and keep an eye on things, and hearing kids laugh and play in the water as we did as we were kids as well, as was definitely warm into the heart, and feel lucky to be able to provide this for ourselves and our friends and family. with the mobile home being here previously, this was their front porch and a little sidewalk out to their driveway, quote unquote. But as we now found out, this is where our septic tank is underneath this concrete pad. So after Labor Day, when we were discharging our tanks from the weekend, we noticed the sewer backed up into the stinky slinky, and so we ended up having to pay a company to come out, find where our tank was, and they were the ones that told us it was here underneath the concrete. But they were able to at least get access enough to be able to pump out the tank. So at this point, we're not sure of the condition of our drain field, so it may just be a pump out type holding tank situation. But for as little amount of fluid as we're going to be putting down at this point, it's going to work out fine. So busting up the concrete, got it all out, and now was checking the dimensions of the tank and finding the access and stuff. So what was kind of nice was one of the pieces of concrete that was the biggest in, one of the corners had the names of the family that the kids that we bought the property from. So Jimmy was the son that we purchased this from, along with his sister, whose name is not listed in this corner, but in kind of in honor of the previous owners, we came over and slid this under as a front doorstep here in front of our door, so we give ourselves a little front patio. Here's we're starting to come into fall. Got our picnic table down there, and we bought a fire ring. We just need to split up some wood and bring it down. So with the weight of this picnic table, hopefully this will help keep people from trying to steal it if they were to come across it. Changing colors. Cutting a little path for a little shooting backstop. These are railroad ties that were left on the property, and this is pretty much aiming diagonally across our property, so it is probably 500 or 600 feet beyond here before it would even get to anybody else's property, and we'd actually be shooting kind of right up the river. And our river is not trafficked because of the amount of deadfalls, really. So I'd probably say, a dozen people go down a year from our understanding. So definitely this is the safest positioning of this, and so far so good. This is when heading into the fall, so as the light gets less, the sunset upon our drive would get to be earlier and earlier, and in the middle of the summer, we can get up there and still have daylight for a couple hours, and but in the middle of winter, as it's dark 20 minutes after we get out of work, so just get some amazing sunsets heading up there, and it's been really nice. A little shot of fall in the lower water levels. I didn't quite realize that was a video. So this was the start of our next project, was building a platform from the Kubota platform down to the access door and move our workbench and stuff, and kind of better define vehicle space and workspace. Just got the decking down. Was able to kind of cut around the posts so we don't have to worry about losing things back there, and moved everything back in place. At this point, still using this older workbench. That platform that was by the door, we just threw a chain around and dragged it out with the tractor, and started kind of using it for some exterior storage, just get some things off the ground. And now we're into winter 2019, 2020. This was an early snowfall, but actually hit us while we were driving up the night before. So we emerged from the pole barn that night or morning. This is what we found, and it was just spectacular. So at this point, the camper was still out. We still had one more project we wanted to kind of take care of this year, and we wondered if our snow here was going to inhibit that. We wanted to get gravel in the pole barn, and then get both of our campers inside. So when we checked the owner's manual for the height of the camper, we knew that the camper was 2 inches taller than the door. Here's the top of the door frame right here. And so we dug out, 6-8 inches beneath it to give ourselves some space, using the tractor, and raked that dirt back out. And then we thought, let's just measure before we actually pull this in so we don't end up with any craziness. And the height of the camper does not include the air conditioner, since it is technically an option. So we ended up found out it was about 15 inches taller than we thought it was. So then it meant we had to dig like 18, 20 inches below the door frame at the bottom, dig that out and create a ramp for the tractor to be able to pull in the camper for the winter. So that's basically what kind of ended our idea of using the pole barn as its winter storage, because that is just going to be too much of a hassle to do year after year. And personally, I would rather have the camper outdoors anyway, just for be able to take in the beauty, and camping in a pole barn isn't so luxurious or fun, I guess. So it's nice for security and keeping the camper dry, but we can keep it dry other ways. So at this point, we brought in enough gravel to bring up the level pretty much to the platform. Now, this was our original thought when we put in these platforms, was instead of digging out low enough to be able to put the platforms to dirt level, we knew we just wanted to bring in enough gravel to bring the ground up to those instead, save ourselves that work. So far this is working out pretty well. We haven't put enough gravel down underneath the camper because we wanted to keep that low, so give ourselves some space to get it out. We do have enough gravel to fill this in once we get into spring and haul the camper out. Had to do a little cutout for the door, because it's the only problem with not keeping it the dirt height was now we have to make a little step here. So still not too bad. It's nice to be able to just get in and knock your feet off there and not even carry so much snow up onto the platform. Just was doing some skidding of logs that we have some videos on, and after I took down a Widowmaker, and so to lure Liz outside, I came out and built a fire and brought over some wood and stuff like that, so she could help tend that while I worked on skidding logs, and then we can spend some time out on a beautiful winter day and still stay nice and toasty. Here's the tree that this tree was holding actually up another tree that's part of it's located over here that was leaning on it. So and when the one tree fell into the other, it broke the top of the receiving tree off and was leaning up against it with a huge branch. So we kind of had two Widowmakers that we had to take care of. Everything went well, everything stayed safe, but once we dropped the main tree, I skidded out the bigger logs that I could and just ran out of energy and time to finish up. So hopefully next time we'll be able to continue the cleanup before the ground thaws, and we don't have to worry about tearing it up as we skid or get the remaining logs out. Same weekend, one of my coworkers had this workbench frame legs and these let's see this drawers and these legs. So we bought a worktop and or just plywood, and made a new top and put this all together, and so this will probably last as long now as the barn itself. So now we're back to the beginning. So alright, so that's about it. Thanks for coming along on this slideshow and kind of bringing people up to speed. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to be as transparent as possible, but there will be some things that won't be specific on our location and stuff. So hope you enjoyed this, and look forward to seeing you guys around. Take it easy.